All right, the state may call its next witness.
Thank you. The state calls Kelly Grabo.
Good morning, Miss Grabo. If you would please make your way to the witness stand. When you get there, please remain standing and raise your right hand, and there is a step up when you get there. My clerk, Teresa, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please be seated. First thing I will have you do is to state your first and last names for the record and spell each.
My first name is Kelly, Kelly, last name Grabo, Grabow.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Ms. Grabo, what do you do for a living?
I work at Burris Logistics as an inventory control specialist.
How long have you worked at Burris Logistics?
I had just started last year in September. It's their first year here.
Is testifying in court something that you do frequently with Burris Logistics?
No.
Are you a little bit nervous today?
Yes.
I want to ask you about Sunday afternoon, November 21st of 2021, okay?
Okay.
Did you take part in the Waukesha Christmas Parade that day?
Yes.
Were you a spectator or a participant? Why were you there?
I was walking with Burris Logistics, my daughter and I.
What's your daughter's name
Adelia
and her last name?
Maffioli.
How long is Adelia? How old is Adelia?
She's 10 now. She was 9 at the time.
Okay. She was walking with you with Burris Logistics?
Yes.
Do you remember?
Hold on. Could you please spell her name for us, please?
Adelia. Last name is Maffioli, Maffioli.
Thank you so much. Sorry for the interruption. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. Thank you, Judge. Do you remember where your group was positioned in the parade in terms of who was behind you and who was in front of you?
Yes, we were directly between the Waukesha Blazers and Waukesha South Marching Band.
Okay, so which of those two were behind you?
Waukesha South Band was behind us.
Gotcha. What were you wearing that day?
Well, my daughter was dressed up as Cindy Lou Who, and I was wearing my elf dress with candy cane leggings.
Did the parade go smoothly?
No,
Why not?
we were struck by a vehicle.
Can you describe how that happened for us?
While we're walking through, my daughter came walking over by me, and she went to go get more candy to go hand out to the kids. So she walked over, grabbed candy, and as she was walking off to the side, I noticed there was a difference in the sound behind us than what I was hearing throughout. So right as she walked off to the side and I seen she walked to the side, I turned. I don't know if I turned fully or just my head. And as I turned, all I seen was the hood of a red vehicle, and I hit the red vehicle and rolled down to the side and landed directly between the Burris Logistics float and the red vehicle, and I seen the tire go directly in front of my face.
Okay. So the Burris Logistics float that you just described, what was that?
There was a black truck pulling it. We had I believe there was a snowman in the back of the black truck, and then we had the Grinch in the float.
Which side of the truck were you on when you were struck?
Of the Burris, or
The Burris truck.
I was on the driver's side of the Burris.
Okay. Where was Adelia?
Adelia, when she grabbed the candy and walked off to the side, I thought she was over by the sidewalk when I spun to look.
And what did you see when you spun?
The red hood of the vehicle.
When did you next see Adelia?
After I realized what just happened, I jumped up and took off running to go find her. And I seen her in the middle of the road, which I don't know how she got to that position from where I seen her last, but she was lying in the middle of the road, and there were some people around her trying to help her. Her shoes were down the road, as well as her glasses.
Your Honor, Exhibit 22 has previously been received and published. I'd ask to publish that again for this witness.
Permission granted.
I'm sorry, maybe I wasn't clear. The jury as well. Yep, there we go. Okay, do you see the screen in front of you?
Yes, that's our float.
All right. We are going to play with audio at normal speed from the beginning until about the 26-second mark.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
And we paused at 27 seconds. Ms. Grabo, did you see yourself in that video?
Yes, I did.
What about Adelia? Did you see her?
With the amount of people, I did not directly see her.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning and turn the audio off. And let's go at about 50% speed.
Objection was the relevance of showing the video to us.
Overruled.
Grounds.
It's relevant.
Grounds.
And we'll play from the beginning. And let's pause right there. At 3 seconds. Do you see yourself at this 3-second mark?
Yes, I do.
Just tell us where you are in the screen.
We're directly in front of the Black Shirt Band banner. Adelia is wearing a red cape shawl with black and white checkered leggings. It was really cold and windy that day. And then I have the candy cane dress on with my jacket and a hat and candy cane leggings.
And what does it appear at this moment that you're doing with Adelia?
Giving her more candy.
And let's resume. Pause. We paused at the 19-second mark. Do you see yourself in the video at this point?
Yes, I'm lying directly between both of the vehicles.
The screen in front of you is a touch screen. Would you mind circling yourself? Your Honor, I'd ask to to save the screen of 22 and mark it as 22. I think we're on
B.
Yeah, so that 22B, this would be marked as, and I'd move that into evidence.
The screen will be captured with the annotation. It will be marked as 22B, and it will be received.
And let's resume at that point. Pause. And we've paused at 24, and we can take that screen down now. What did we see you doing at the end of the video there?
I was lying between the vehicles.
Did you get up at some point?
Yes.
Okay, and then
Ran directly to my daughter.
what injuries, if any, did you sustain as a result of being struck by that SUV?
I think there's ligament damage in my knee as well as my hand. I did have some bruising and some road rash on my knees.
Were you treated at a medical facility
Waukesha Memorial Hospital.
the night of the incident?
It was way later. I went in because I rode in the ambulance with my daughter. I refused to go anywhere else besides stay with her the entire time. So I stayed with her. We rode 2 children's. In the ambulance, they did check me in the ambulance and see that I was stable and okay to do what I was doing. So I stayed with my daughter at Children's Hospital, and I did not want to leave her until I knew she was at home in bed safe.
What injuries, if any, did Adelia sustain?
Massive bruising all up and down her back. She had a broken hand, road rash all on her face.
What's the easiest way to get into an Audi? Rent one. Choose from a
All the questions I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do you have any cross for this witness?
Yes. Before you were struck by the vehicle, you said that you heard changes in sound to the parade. That was the people marching in the parade in the back of you, right?
Yes.
Do you recall what the sounds were that you heard?
It was just a change in the tone behind me. It wasn't the Jubilee sound that we were hearing throughout the parade. You could tell something was happening behind us.
Did it seem to get louder?
Yeah,
Was it already pretty noisy with the parade going on?
it was noisy.
And you stated that it was really windy and cold that evening.
Yes, very.
Would it be any reason why you wouldn't be able to hear everything going on behind you?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't be able to hear everything behind us, because I heard the change in the sound of the band, so obviously I could hear what was going on directly behind me.
The vehicle that struck you, do you recall seeing a driver?
No, I seen the red hood of the vehicle. That's
So
all
you-
I seen.
So you didn't see the driver or anybody in the vehicle?
No, again, I just seen the red hood as it ran into me.
No license plates or?
Nope.
You recall how fast the vehicle might have been traveling when you were struck?
It had to have been going a decent speed. As I said before, I did see the rear tire going past my face, and it all happened extremely fast.
So you don't recall?
With the chaos that was going around that day, no, I do not remember exactly.
And you stated that after you were struck, you got up and ran to your daughter, correct?
Yes,
And you were able to do that with your leg injury?
yes. I guess that would be the adrenaline going through your body at that moment in time. It did give me the strength to run to my daughter.
So when was it that you knew that you had the, I think you said knee injury?
Yes, knee and hand.
When did that pain in your leg set in?
It was immediately.
But you were still able to get up and run?
Yeah.
Do you recall how long before you received medical treatment?
We were there for quite a while. I think we were one of the last ones to leave in the ambulance as I sat with my daughter at Children's Hospital. After I got her home, where I knew she was safe and secure, I then my sister took me to Waukesha Memorial Hospital at, I would guesstimate that was probably around 2 in the morning, right around there, after I knew my daughter was safe.
So it's fair to say that you waited a little bit before you tended to yourself?
I attended to my daughter prior to myself to make sure my daughter was safe, yes.
Do you recall how long you were treated?
I'd probably say about 2 hours I was at the hospital.
Did they give you any pain medication or?
I was taking ibuprofen and Tylenol. That is it.
Do you recall what time you arrived at the parade?
Well, since we were walking with the parade, we had to be there early. We staged probably around 3, I would say, I think it was.
And were you able to see what the vehicle did after you were struck?
No, my only attention at that point in time was to find my daughter and attend to my daughter.
So you didn't see what, the route that the vehicle traveled or anything after that?
I seen the aftermath after it went through. That was it.
Do you recall how long you were marching in the parade before you were struck?
I do not recall how long we were there.
Were you near any cross streets or intersections?
I don't know the name of the intersection, but yes, there was. I know we're right by Bosco's. There's a little walkway that takes you down to the river, or there's a little tiny side street off to the side.
Do you recall if they were barricaded?
I do not recall.
Do you recall if any law enforcement may have been standing by those intersections?
Do not recall.
Do you recall any reports coming over any radios by law enforcement?
I do not recall that. The only thing I heard after we were hit was shots fired.
So you did hear shots fired. Did that
I
come
don't
from?
know if it was directly from a cop or if it was people running.
Did you hear the shots?
I did not.
So after you were struck, it would be fair to say that it got louder than what it was before.
After, in the middle of the complete chaos, yes.
With all the noise and chaos going on, do you think it would have been hard for you to hear a horn honking?
I did not hear a horn.
Would it have been hard? The question was, would it have been hard for you to hear it?
Before it got to us or after?
After it became chaotic.
I was not listening for a horn after we had already been hit by the vehicle.
So it'd be fair to say you wouldn't be able to recall.
I would not be able to recall that.
Did you file any claim in this incident?
What do you mean by claim?
Did you file a report as an injured party in this matter?
Yes.
So it would be fair to say that you identify yourself as an injured party?
I was injured by the circumstances that day, yes.
Do you recall the officer that you reported your claim with?
I do not recall.
Have you seen or read a complaint in this matter?
What do you mean by that?
Have you seen a written complaint or read a written complaint in this matter? Grounds.
Mr. Brooks, are you referring to the criminal complaint in this case or something else?
I'm referring to something else, the complaint.
Well, then I'll sustain the objection as to the form of the question. It's vague.
May I respectfully ask on what grounds, Your Honor?
It's vague. Next question, or rephrase.
Do you know of any complaint being filed in this matter? Grounds.
Sustained.
Grounds.
As to the form of the question.
Were you aware that it may be possible that you could give testimony in this matter?
Yes, I was aware of that.
Did you seek to give testimony in this matter?
I was okay with doing so.
And who were you informed by?
The district attorney's office.
Was that in form of a subpoena or was it a conversation or?
Well, at first it was knowing that there was a possibility and then the subpoena.
So it'd be fair to say that you did have a conversation
Conversation?
with the district attorney's office.
Yes.
Did they ever inform you of who the plaintiff was in this matter?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Are you aware of any plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Have you ever talked to the plaintiff in this matter? Ever seen the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained under 90611. Mr. Brooks, you need to move on to a new topic or I will close the cross-exam.
I will move on. It has to be some type of ground stated other than relevancy or anything like that. The real ground should be put on record, Your Honor. We all deserve to know. The jury deserves to know.
It's not relevant. Move on.
So are you bringing this claim against the accused defendant in this matter?
Objection, vague.
Grounds.
Sustained.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
It's vague. As to the form of the question.
Have you seek to receive any recovered damages or anything in the matter?
The only thing that we got was help to pay for our medical bills, as that was something that was completely unexpected from a Christmas parade.
Is that through the state of Wisconsin?
It was through, I forgot the name of what it was.
Are you listed as a plaintiff in this matter?
Am I listed as a plaintiff in this matter?
Are you the plaintiff? Did you file the claim?
Objection,
That's a
relevance.
compound question. Sustained as to the form of the question. Mr. Brooks?
Did you file a claim?
90611. Move on. You've already asked about whether she filed a report. Move on.
Susan! Susan! What? Why are you whispering? Check this out. With Paycom, employees do their own payroll.
What's Paycom? A magic payroll genie? Like, ooh, what's your wish?
It's an app that employees use to do their payroll.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Do you see the state of Wisconsin present in the court?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained under 90611. I warned you to avoid that topic or I would cease cross-exam, so I'll give you one more opportunity to ask a different line of questioning.
Do you recall when you gave your interview to law enforcement?
It was a few days after.
Would it be fair to say it was a few days or a week or so?
I don't actually remember the exact time.
Do you remember being interviewed by Detective Jeffrey Adent?
I remember being interviewed. I don't remember what the officer's name was.
Do you remember where you were interviewed?
At my house.
Do you recall if it was on November 30 of 2021?
I don't remember the exact dates.
Can you recall why it took a little bit for you to be interviewed by law enforcement?
I'm guessing because of how many people were injured throughout this parade. It did take a while to get around to everybody.
Did you seek to be interviewed in any way?
I don't think I seeked, but I did inform them that I was injured, as
But
well
you-
as my daughter.
But you don't recall calling any law enforcement or attempting to file a report?
Law enforcement that was there at the parade took people's name and it all ended up going to them.
Did you follow up in the days after?
I don't recall if I did.
Do you recall stating that you did not see what happened to your daughter?
I do recall that.
Do you recall being left a business card by Dr. Daryl L. Williams, PhD?
Yes, I do.
Would it be fair to say that he was the one that told you what happened?
I still to this day don't know directly what happened to my daughter. I just know that she was hit by the red vehicle as I was laying on the ground after I was hit.
So it would be fair to say if you didn't see what actually happened to your daughter, you didn't see what happened to anyone else?
Objection.
Grounds.
Characterization of the
Grounds.
evidence.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Would it be fair to say that it was difficult to see if anyone else was struck?
From the position I was in, I seen a tire going in front of me, so no, I did not see directly anywhere besides the tire going in front of my face.
So it would be fair to say that you didn't see anyone get struck besides yourself?
It would be kind of difficult to see beyond that.
No further questions.
May redirect.
Can I just clarify, Ms. Grabo? The last time you saw your daughter before you got struck, where was she?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled.
She was walking over, or she came over by me to get more candy to pass out, and she was walking off to the sidewalk to hand out more candy.
Sidewalk on which side of the Burris float?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
That would be to the driver's side of, so To the left.
Okay. And then you got struck. And where's the next place that you saw Adelia?
I seen Adelia.
Overruled.
Say that she didn't see anything.
It's not hearsay, Mr. Brooks.
That's the definition of hearsay.
Mr. Brooks, the objection is noted, it's overruled.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
I direct your attention to section 90801, sir. You may answer the question.
After I got up, I found my daughter in the middle of the road. She was no longer by the sidewalk.
Was she, where was she in relation to the Burris, the truck that was pulling the float?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
On what grounds?
Direct your attention to 90801, sir. It's not hearsay. Go ahead, you may answer.
She was towards the driver's side, the front end of the vehicle. So she was more towards the front of the vehicle.
You testified that after you were struck, the noise in the area increased. It got louder. You
Yes.
saying that? And so, as a result of that increase in noise, you weren't listening for a horn.
No,
Okay. What about before you got struck? Did you hear the sound of a horn?
I did not.
Hearsay.
It's not hearsay, overruled. Would you just repeat your answer, please?
I did not hear a horn.
Thank you. Just, you're doing fine, but if there is an objection, let me rule on it first, just so we're not talking over each other, okay? Thank you.
And I'm all done, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, you may step down. Thank you. You may call your next witness then.
The state would call Jeffrey Rogers.
You said Rogers.
Rogers.
Thank you. All right, good morning, Mr. Rogers. If you would please make your way to the witness stand, which is to my right. It is up a riser. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand. My clerk, Teresa, who is on my left, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. The first thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and spell each, please.
Okay. Jeff Rogers, Jeffrogers.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Sir, do you live in the city of Waukesha?
Yes, I do.
Are you familiar with the program, the Waukesha Blazers Youth Baseball Program?
Yes, I
Overruled.
Yes, I currently serve as the president.
And what is the Blazers Youth Program?
We have teams. We have a rookies program, which is ages 5 up to 12. We also have a select baseball program and softball program, and that ranges from ages 7 all the way up through high school.
Is this for boys and girls?
Yes.
And as president, what duties do you have?
Sure. Maintaining the schedule for the year, ensuring that we have indoor facilities for winter workouts, arranging any tournaments, ensuring we have game fields for the year for practices and games, setting the team rosters, running tryouts. There's lots on the plate.
Are you also a coach with the Blazers?
I am.
Okay. So direct your attention to November 21st of last year. Were the Blazers part of the City of Waukesha Christmas Parade?
Yes, we were.
And do you recall the day?
Yes.
Approximately what time did you have to get to the parade to set up?
It was probably about an hour before the parade started.
And was the parade starting at approximately 4 o'clock?
Yes.
What was the weather like?
It was cool, windy, I remember cloudy.
Who was all walking with the Blazers that day? I mean, not names, but generally speaking, was it players, coaches?
Sure, it was coaches, players, and some family members.
Did you have a float?
We had a pickup truck with a Christmas tree in the back.
Okay. And was that pickup truck marked with the Blazers?
We had banners on both sides of the truck, yes.
Okay. Do you recall any groups that were in front, or a group that was in front of you or behind you?
From my memory, I remember the extreme dance group in front of us. I don't remember who was in back.
Okay. And were you there, was it just you, or did you have any kids that were involved in the program at that time?
I was there with 3 of my 4 children, one of which was playing on my baseball team.
Okay. And I'm assuming that there were other parents there
Yes.
with their kids? And specifically, were 2 of your kids there, Caden, Cayden, and Riley, Ryle?
Yes.
And which one of those, does either one of those play with the program?
Caden plays on my team.
Okay, and Riley was there for,
Support.
Okay.
She used to play in the program.
okay, and then you had a third child there.
Yes.
Do you know Josh Creener?
Yes, I do.
And what is his involvement with the Blazers?
He was a first-year coach for our 9U.
Okay, and he was also walking?
Yes, he was walking in the parade.
And did you have a formation for the parade, or was it just people kind of walking next to the truck, behind the truck,
All over the truck, we were handing out little flyers.
promoting the Blazers, I'm assuming?
Correct.
Okay. Specifically, do you remember 2 players, Jackson and Tucker Sparks?
I do.
Were they there?
Yes, they were.
And was their dad there?
Yes.
Okay, and they were also walking the parade?
Yes.
Do you recall if they were wearing uniforms?
I believe Jackson was wearing his uniform. I don't remember if Tucker was.
I'm going to show you what's been, let me just make sure it was previously played, but Exhibit 11, and I'm just going to display it in front of the screen in front of you. Yes, it was previously admitted. So I will also play it, publish it to the jury. And let me know when you see it in front of you.
I see it.
Okay, so initially it's a 2-minute and 29-second video. I'm going to have it play, and I will let Ms. Gussie know when.
Objection, how long is the video
It's
seeking
2
to be
minutes and
played?
29 seconds.
So would that be the entire video?
That would be the entire Exhibit 11.
Alright, go ahead.
You may not call yourself a superhero, but you have many superpowers. The Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you active. Visit today and get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29.
That raises an interesting question. What is innovation itself?
Make sure that they have the right tools to execute.
To me, it hinges on what there were issues that came up.
We are talking about changing the basis of competition.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the video at 28 seconds. Did you recognize that as the Blazers, I want to say float or group that was marching the parade?
Yes, I saw myself and all the people walking with me.
Okay, did you see Josh Creener?
I did.
Did you see either one of your kids, Caden or Riley?
I saw Caden and Maya.
Okay, and then did you also see Jackson and Tucker Sparks?
I did see Jackson. I don't recall seeing Tucker.
Okay, let's play it again from the beginning. Okay, I'm gonna pause it. First of all, can you circle yourself on the screen? It's a touch screen. Can you circle yourself? And you said that you saw Caden?
Yep, just previously.
Okay, of course. And how about Jackson?
Yes, I saw Jackson, and I see Tucker now too.
Okay, and can you circle them? The shorter of the two kids, do you know, is that Jackson or Tucker?
That's Jackson.
Okay, so the taller is Tucker.
I believe
presumably.
so.
Okay. And I'm going to back it up approximately 4 seconds to 12 seconds. We've stopped at 16 seconds. And we can clear the screen. And I'm going to keep it paused. Do you see Caden in this frame?
I do.
And can you circle him by where he's standing? Now, this was, at some point, there's a vehicle that came through the parade, correct?
Correct.
This was before that time period, correct?
Yes.
Okay. At some point, and we can take this video down, did you hear any type of commotion or anything that drew your attention to behind you during the parade route?
Yes, I remember hearing some sort of scream. Couldn't tell if it was part of the parade or not. Turned over my left shoulder to see, I remember a wheel falling over and thinking like, oh no, somebody fell off their bike or somebody got hurt. So I turned back around, and at that point the screams got louder and I saw people running, or heard people running and lots of screaming. So I turned around again, and that's when I saw a red SUV coming at us, and I pulled my daughter Maya out of the way.
At that time, do you recall, you said Maya was next to you?
Yes.
Do you recall where Caden was?
I remember Caden was up to the left of our vehicle. That's somewhere, wasn't sure exactly.
And if you can recall, was the vehicle in the middle of Main Street?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled. You may answer, sir.
From what I remember, yes.
And what side were you on? Were you at the back of the vehicle or the side of the vehicle?
I was pretty much directly behind our vehicle, in the middle of the road.
Okay. And Caden was where in relationship to you?
To my left.
Okay. And your daughter, Maya?
Maya was standing right next to me on my left.
Okay. And Riley?
And Riley was up somewhere by Caden.
Do you recall where Josh Craner was?
Josh was to my left as well.
And how about Jackson and Tucker Sparks?
I recall them being in front of me. I'm not sure, maybe a little to the left as well.
So when you looked back, you said you heard screaming, you heard yelling and running. Did you hear a horn honking?
I did not.
When you first observed the red SUV, first of all, strike that. Was there a group immediately after the Blazers team in the parade?
Objection, relevant.
Overruled. You may answer, sir.
Are you talking behind us or in front of us?
Behind. Was there someone directly behind you, or was there a gap between you and whoever was behind you? If you recall, when you look back, was there a float right behind you?
I don't remember seeing a float right behind us.
Okay. And people were running. Could you tell where they were running?
From what I remember, running towards me and to the sides of the street.
And when you first saw this, you said a red vehicle?
Yes.
Did you have a more, was it a car, a SUV, a pickup truck?
I remember it being larger than a car. How I described it to other people as an SUV.
Spring is free at the College of Alameda, and we're giving away $500 to College of Alameda majors taking 6 units or more. There's something for everyone. You can study any way you want, in-person, hybrid, and online-only classes, all available for you. Spring classes start January 23rd. Enroll now at alameda.edu and get back to your future today.
Is Russia inherently imperialist and expansionist? Must Russia, by some innate cultural or civilizational trait, seek to conquer its neighbors?
And how was it coming at you? Was it on the, it sounds like you were behind the truck. You said Caden was to your left, which would be, and I'm horrible at directions, but that would be the south side of the street. Was it coming on the south side of the street, the middle of the street, or the north side of the street, which would have been to your right?
Overruled. You may answer.
From what I remember, it was middle, and then it moved to the left to go around our truck.
Okay. As it was coming towards you, what did you do?
My first reaction was to grab Maya, and she slipped through my hands the first time, and then luckily I grabbed her the second time and pulled her to the side. Immediately was trying to put her in the back of our vehicle because I didn't know if more cars were coming.
When you say the back of your vehicle, the Blazers vehicle, or did you have a personal vehicle also in the parade?
The Blazers pickup truck.
And then what happened?
Sure. So after I got her up in the truck, I was frantically looking for my kids. I watched the SUV continue driving down the parade route, swerved back to the right after it passed our truck. I was screaming, "Where's Riley?" Caden found me, and I tried to get him in the back of the truck as well. From there, I was yelling at him, asking where Riley, well, screaming, "Where's Riley?" He didn't know. So I ran around the truck a couple times, and that's when I saw Jackson on the ground and stopped by him to check on him.
So where was Jackson in relationship? I'm assuming that once the red SUV came through, did the parade stop?
Yes.
Where was Jackson in relationship to the Blazers pickup truck?
From what I remember, he was in the front of the truck. It's to the left.
Was there anyone else around him at that time?
His dad, Aaron.
Did you talk to Aaron?
I did.
And what observations did you make of Jackson?
Jackson was motionless on the ground, eyes open, didn't appear to be aware.
Did he appear to be alive?
Was unsure.
Did you find out that he died as a result of being struck?
I did.
Overruled. His answer may stand.
So when the car came through, the red SUV, it went to which side of the truck?
The left side.
Okay. And that's where you said Caden was. Did Caden get struck?
Caden told me he did.
What injuries did he have?
Objection, hearsay. Just say told. It's not for sure.
Overruled. This witness may answer based on personal knowledge.
So Caden said he saw the...
Hold on. That would be hearsay. So I'll sustain the objection if you would rephrase the question.
What injuries did Caden have?
He had bruising on his right elbow.
And do you know if Caden got struck by the red SUV?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, he did.
Did you see Jackson or Tucker Sparks get struck by the SUV?
Sitting here today, I do not remember that.
Did you give a statement at some point? I think it was part of a parade survey, if you recall that.
Yes.
That was, I think, created by the Victim Witness Program, sent out by the Victim Witness Program, and then you would have sent it back. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
And was that something that you created?
Yes, those are my words.
Okay. And is it correct that that form says, after that I saw the car drive past us on the left, striking two of our players, Tucker and Jackson Sparks?
Yes.
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
You said you didn't see that. That's hearsay.
Overruled. His answer may stand.
Thank you. I'm assuming that the event was fresher in your mind when you gave that statement versus a year later?
Yes, I believe everything in that statement is accurate.
Okay, thank you. And do you know if Jackson Sparks was injured? I'm sorry, Tucker Sparks.
Yes, he was.
Okay, do you know what injuries he had?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
I remember the most significant was brain bleed or a head injury.
And did you eventually find your daughter Riley?
I did.
Where was she?
She was across the street. So I had taken Maya and Caden into the antique shop on the south side of the road. She was across the street in the Civic Theater.
Was she injured as a result of a car striking her?
She was.
And what car struck her?
The red SUV.
Okay. What injuries did she receive?
She had multiple cuts, bruises, scraping on both of her legs. Her knee was pretty badly bruised.
Now, after the car went to the left side of the Blazers truck, striking the kids, did you see the path that it took?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, I remember it going back to the right side of the road after that.
So after it passed the truck,
Yes.
did it strike the Blazers truck at all?
I don't remember.
So it went to the far right side of the road?
Yes.
And then did you see it from there?
That's the last memory I have of it.
So do you know approximately how far Jackson was in front of the Blazers truck when you went and you talked to his father, Aaron, who is with Jackson?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
I don't remember.
Okay. Did the vehicle stop?
No, it didn't.
Did you see it stop at any time while you had view of it?
No.
Can you estimate approximately how fast it was going before when you first took notice of the red SUV when you looked back?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
I remember thinking, this is a parade. It's 25-mile-an-hour speed limit here. If I were in my neighborhood and a car was going that fast, I would be yelling at it. So faster than the speed limit.
And I'm assuming when you're in a parade, you're not going, although the speed limit on that road might be 25 miles per hour, you're not going 25 miles per hour. Would that be a correct statement?
Absolutely.
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled. His answer may stand.
Now, before you went into the antique store, was there anyone yelling anything about shots being fired?
Yeah, I don't remember who yelled it, but I heard shots were fired and to get inside the nearest building.
And did you go in right away, or were you still looking around the car for Riley?
Right. I didn't have Riley at the time, so I had to make a decision that I had 2 out of my 3 kids and took them into the antique store after that.
Prior to going into the antique store, did you see Jackson again?
Find inspiration behind the wheel of a new Kia. From the stylish and fun Soul.
I don't remember if it was before or when I came out of the antique store.
Okay. So, did you see Jackson a second time on Main Street?
Yeah.
Overruled.
Where was that, or where was he?
Yeah, so after I put Caden and Maya in the antique store, I asked the couple there to watch them because I was going to go find my other daughter. Ran back outside on a main street, and that's when I saw Jackson again. And at that point, I believe a woman was trying to perform CPR on him.
Did you ever see Josh Craner while you were outside?
I remember...
After the vehicle had gone through. I apologize.
No, that's fine. After running back outside, I remember seeing someone near our truck that had a jacket, a brownish jacket on, and at the time I believed it was Josh. I didn't know him well at the time.
And where was he?
He was on the left side of the vehicle, our vehicle.
On the ground, did you say?
Yes, he was laying on the ground.
Okay. And at some point, how did you find Riley?
I received a phone call when I was in the antique store. It was a phone call or a text message from my friend, Ben.
And what did he have Riley?
Yeah, he said he was with her across the street and that her legs were injured, but she was okay.
And that's what I was just going to say. As a result, you had indicated that Caden did receive an injury from being struck by the car.
Yes.
Did Riley receive an injury?
Yes.
What were her injuries?
She had scrapes, bruises, abrasions up and down her legs.
And that was from the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been previously marked and admitted into evidence as Exhibit 15. And I would ask that be published to the jury right away.
Go ahead.
And let me know, sir, when that's up in the screen in front of you.
I see it.
Okay. There's a section. Actually, it's in the middle of the page, probably more on the upper part. It has names: Josh Craner, Riley Rogers, Caden Rogers, Jackson Sparks, and Tucker Sparks. Do you see that?
I do.
And then there's a line on the left side of that diagram that goes down to the map where it leads to a yellow star. Do you see that?
Yes.
Would that be the area in which each of those people were struck by the red SUV?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, it appears accurate.
Thank you. I'm now going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 148. I'm going to have it just shown in front of you first. And I'll have it play for a couple seconds. It's starting at 0. Sir, do you recognize the frame that it stopped at, which is at 5 seconds?
Yes.
Have you seen this video before?
I have.
And does it accurately depict what occurred on November 21st of last year, shortly before, during, and after the red SUV struck the Blazers?
Yes.
Permission to publish and admit Exhibit 148 into evidence.
Objection is noted. Exhibit 148 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Sir, it's approximately 3 minutes and 22 seconds. I'm going to play that entire video initially, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, do we have the total again?
3 minutes and 22 seconds.
Thank you.
The entire video.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
What grounds?
Relevance.
What grounds?
That is the grounds. Relevance. Go ahead.
Elevate your evening with the Le Grand Experience, a VIP experience.
That is the entire 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Sir, you just gave a testimony with regard to your actions. Did you see yourself in that video doing a lot of the things that you just testified to?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm gonna play it one more time, and I'm gonna pause it at certain points if you can just identify where you are and what you're doing, okay? So let's play it from the very beginning at 00. I'm gonna pause it right here. Now, it looks like there's quite a few people in there walking behind Waukesha Blazers truck. Are all those people part of the Waukesha Blazers program?
It appears so, yes.
Okay, so either parents, players, or support?
Yes,
And do you see yourself?
I do.
And can you circle where you are? And your daughter?
Maya is right here.
And you see Caden?
No, I don't.
And you see Josh Craner in this frame?
No, I don't.
Okay, let's
Hold
clear
on,
this.
could you just make a record of where you paused?
Yes, I'm sorry. At 13 seconds, if we can clear the screen and continue on. Pause. Do you know what you were looking back at? It seemed like, as I started saying before, a lot of people were looking behind you. Is that when you heard, you said something about a wheel tipping?
Yeah, I remember the first time I turned back, seeing something tip, whether it was a stroller, a wheelchair, a bike, some sort of tire is in my mind, and hearing screams at that time thinking that somebody got hurt.
Then you said you turned back, face forward, and then something else drew your attention back.
Correct.
And what was that?
The screaming.
Now, do you see Josh Craner in this frame?
I do.
Okay, and can you circle him where he's at?
He was running right there.
And that's at 16 seconds?
Yes, and I was just reminded of that. Thank you. And you saw the video straight through before, correct?
Correct.
And Josh Craner is about to get struck by the car, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so let's play that through. Stop the video. When you saw Josh laying on the ground, Josh Craner, do you know approximately where, I'm sorry, it stopped at 19 seconds. I'm very bad at this. Do you know where Josh Craner was laying approximately?
To the left side of our vehicle, that's about all I remember.
Okay, so he's not shown, did you see two bodies fly forward from the truck?
In the video or
In
when I
this
was
video
there?
right now?
I would have to see it again.
Okay, if we can, we go back to probably 14 seconds. And play it again. From 13 seconds. Stop it. Did you see two bodies flying forward?
Yes.
Do you recall, as you look at this picture, where Jackson was of the two bodies that flew forward?
I believe he was on the left side of the truck as well.
And can you circle him by where he's laying on the ground?
Can you play it one more time, please?
Yes, and that was, I stopped it at 21 seconds. I'm now going back again to 14 seconds and playing it again, starting at 14 seconds. I paused, or it was paused at 18 seconds. Did that assist you?
Yeah, looks like he's laying right up here.
And do you know who the body is that's to the right of Jackson?
I don't, looking at it from here.
And do you know, as Jackson and Tucker were marching to the left of the truck, as you testified to, were they close together in distance?
Yes, they were close.
Okay, thank you. If you can keep playing. I'm sorry, and it's starting at 18 seconds. What do you see you doing now?
I picked up Maya and I'm running to check on Jackson. Over the top of him right now.
Okay. I was just going to say, if you can narrate, and that you said that at approximately 31 seconds, you were over the top of Jackson.
Yes. And now I just grabbed Ella, another one of our members.
You can pause the video. Okay. And what are you doing? And
I'm putting-
it's paused at 35 seconds, 55 seconds.
Putting Maya in the back of the truck to keep her safe.
And how about Ella?
Ella, I was bringing her with me too, so I knew where she was.
Okay. At this point, had you seen Caden?
No.
Okay, continue.
That, I'm talking to Caden now.
So at 1 minute and 3 seconds, you're lifting someone up into the pickup truck?
Yes, that's Caden.
Okay, continue.
And I'm yelling at him, asking where Riley is. And he's telling me he doesn't know. I told him to stay there, and I was going to go run and try to find her. As I went to the left of the truck, as I knew she was on that side.
Is that you running down the street?
I saw somebody down in the road, praying it wasn't her. It was not.
I'm going to pause it right now. When you said you saw someone else in the road, did it appear that that person was injured?
Yeah, they were down on the ground with people around them.
You can continue on.
Telling the kids that it'll be okay, and they're safe now with the truck.
Okay, that was paused at 1 minute and 47 seconds. Continue on. At 2 minutes in, had you found Riley yet?
No. And there I'm pointing out that
Pause.
we need medical attention.
And that was at 2 minutes and 31 seconds. You're pointing out that who needs medical attention?
Jackson.
You can continue on.
At that point, I was just talking to Caden again, asking him if he remembered where Riley was.
That's 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
And I told him to come and help me find her. At this point, people are rushing in the stores as we heard shots were fired.
That was at 3 minutes.
So I grabbed Maya and Caden and ran into the nearest open door that I could find.
Pause. And that was at about 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Is that, yes? Did that happen about 3 minutes and 10 seconds into the video?
Yes.
I'm sorry. And that's all I need for the video. And finally, I'm going to show you Exhibit 31. And let me just see if that's been admitted yet. It has not. So I'm going to have it displayed in front of you. I'm not going to have it published until I show you a couple seconds of this to see if you can indicate that this is a true representation of what happened on November 21st.
I see it, and it is.
Okay. Permission to publish it and admit Exhibit 31 into evidence.
How many seconds?
27 seconds.
Exhibit 31 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
And if we can play it. It was played until the end at 27 seconds. Does that accurately depict the path of the vehicle as it was striking the Blazers members?
Yes.
Nothing further, thank you.
All right, I'm going to take a mid-morning break at this point, about 15 to 20 minutes. All rise for the jury, please. right, thank you, everyone. We are in recess. Sir, you may step down as well. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
What legal basis, Your Honor?
The record stands, sir. I think we're about
We went off at 10:09.
10:09. All right, it's 20 minutes. All right, we will go back on the record appearances are as they were before. I will have the jury brought out and we'll continue with the questioning of this witness.
Judicial determination you made about the jurisdiction.
I thought it was very clear, sir.
So will proof be validated?
Your request is denied.
On what legal basis, Your Honor?
The record stands, sir.
Is that a judicial determination?
My ruling was put on the record earlier, sir.
So that is a judicial determination?
All rise.
Come here for a second. All right. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Mr. Brooks, you may start your questioning of this witness then.
Just a second, I'm sorry about that. I just needed a second. I apologize to the witnesses. A little emotional right now for me, so I apologize to the court as well for the delay. Can you recall what time you arrived at the parade that evening?
I don't remember exactly.
Do you recall how long you intended to stay?
Through the parade till it was done.
You testified earlier to seeing some of the video footage that was played. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, that's fair to say.
Do you recall how many times before today you saw the video footage?
I believe I saw one of the videos once.
And you don't recall seeing any of the other videos?
Maybe clips. We were bouncing around.
Do you recall by whom you were shown the videos?
The folks at the prosecution table.
That referring to the 3 prosecutors sitting there right now?
Yes.
All 3?
Yes.
You stated in testimony earlier that you did not see the vehicle strike the children that were in front of you. Would that be fair to say?
I said sitting here today, I don't remember that.
You said something to that effect. Would that be fair to say?
You'd have to be more clear.
You said something to that effect of what you just said.
To what effect?
That you, sitting here today, that you do not recall seeing anyone struck ahead of you.
That's correct.
But then you also stated that you did see who was struck ahead of you.
Is that a question?
Would that be fair to say?
In relation to what?
In relation to someone being struck in front of you.
When I was there or the video, what are you talking about?
At any time. When you was there.
When I wrote my statement, I wrote what I remembered at that time.
So would it be fair to say that as you sit here today that anything about your statement may have changed?
Nothing has changed.
So your testimony here today would be accurate to what you reported?
Everything I said has been accurate.
Do you recall saying in your interview with the DIC that your 11-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter suffered minor injuries in the event?
I remember saying they were injured.
Do you recall saying that the injuries were minor?
No.
Now, direct the witness to the statement.
Do you have a copy of that?
Yes, right here.
Is it his statement or a summary?
It's not his statement, it is a statement from DCI, an agent from DCI, in which the DCI agent spoke with Mr. Rogers and wrote down what he believed was said to him. It was not signed by Mr. Rogers, it was not reviewed by Mr. Rogers, therefore I would object to this being characterized as this witness's statement.
Grounds.
If he would like to call the DCI agent, then he may do so.
Grounds.
All right, I'm going to sustain the objection as to the form of the question. Rephrase, if you're able or desire.
Do you recall stating to whomever interviewed you from the DCI that the injuries were minor?
No.
Any reason why they would report that you said that?
I don't know, you'd have to ask them.
Any reason why they would believe that that's what you said?
Objection.
Reported. Grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Calls for speculation on the part of the witness. Sustained.
Do you remember giving a prepared statement at 10:45 a.m. on 11/22 of 2021?
I do.
Do you recall the gist of what you prepared?
Can you be more specific?
Specifically, that you heard commotion turned around to see a stroller or something fall over about a block and a half behind us?
Yes,
You recall making that statement?
I do.
About how many people would you estimate was at the parade that day?
I would guess the thousands.
And you were able to see something fall over from a block and a half away amidst thousands of people?
Yes.
And you don't recall what that was that you saw?
No.
Any reason as to why you would name what you saw fall if you don't recall it?
I described it.
So you did see something fall?
Objection, asked and answered.
Grounds.
Asked and answered, sustained.
Do you recall what the item was?
Objection.
Grounds.
Asked and answered.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Do you recall about what time you heard that shots were fired?
After watching the video, it's about 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes after the red SUV drove by us.
Do you recall the day of the incident? Not the video.
I remember it was after the vehicle drove by us.
Did you hear the shots?
No,
Do you remember who that was reported by?
I don't.
What did you do after you heard that shots were fired?
I looked for all of my children again and made the decision to take 2 of them into the antique store.
About how long did it take you to look for everybody before you went into the antique store?
Before or after the shots fired comment?
After the shots fired comment.
I think I did another lap around the car and then around our Blazers truck and then grabbed my kids and left.
Were you able to retrieve everyone at that time?
No.
You recall who was missing?
Riley was missing.
Did you leave the antique shop anytime after you had gathered your loved ones into the antique shop?
Yes.
About how long before you left the antique shop?
I don't remember.
Do you remember what you did when you left the antique shop?
I remember at some point seeing Jackson again on the ground.
Did you continue looking for the loved one that you missed before you gathered the other ones into the antique shop?
To the best of my recollection.
You don't recall for sure?
It was pretty chaotic. I was looking constantly for my missing daughter.
Did you end up finding her?
I did not find her, no.
And who was Ben White?
He was another coach with the Blazers and a friend.
Was he with you in the antique shop?
No.
So at some point you got separated, would that be fair to say?
Separated from who?
Separated from Ben.
We were all separated as soon as the car drove by.
Any idea where he may have gone at that time?
No.
You remember talking to him after you had gathered everybody in the antique shop?
I remember at some point he reached out. I don't remember if it was text or phone call. Yes.
Did he say if he was injured in any way?
I don't remember.
Were you injured in any way?
No physical injuries.
Was it pretty windy that day, from your recollection?
From what I remember, there was a pretty good breeze, yes.
Pretty cold?
It was cool.
Pretty loud?
Normal parade sounds.
Would that be characterized as loud?
I guess it depends who's, it would be subjective to the person there.
Would you say it was loud?
Not overly loud.
So you yourself were able to hear pretty good over a parade with thousands of people?
I would say so, yes.
You had one of your daughters, Maya, with you that day. Would that be fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Was she injured in the event?
I threw her to the ground to get her out of the way, so she had some scrapes.
And would that result from you throwing her to the ground?
I don't know.
Did she say that she had been injured in any way?
No.
Do you recall if anyone else besides your children who were injured?
I remember lots of people who were injured.
Do you recall?
I just answered that.
Specifically, do you remember who besides your children?
You want me to list all of the names that were injured?
No, just rough estimate. That you recall.
That I recall, 10 to 15 people that I saw.
That you actually observed.
Yes.
Did you render any assistance to any of those people?
No.
Any reason why not?
My daughter was missing.
So it'd be fair to say at that moment your concern was your daughter that you didn't retrieve to go into the antique shop.
My concern was for everyone that was just struck by the vehicle.
Including your daughter that was missing, right?
I was concerned about her missing, yes.
Did you file any reports other than just the interview?
What do you mean by
like an
reports?
injury report of any kind?
Just what you had in front of you that you were reading from. That was my statement.
No. Did you file any injury reports or
Objection, that's a big question.
grounds?
Sustained as to the form of the question, sir. Please rephrase.
What I'm asking is, usually if there's an injury, you will file a complaint. To the best of your recollection, did you file any complaint from the incident?
I wouldn't consider it a complaint. I filed some paperwork saying that my children were injured, yes.
Do you recall if that was a complaint?
I don't know.
Was it a claim in any sort of way?
Yes.
Do you recall what the claim was?
It was with the Victim Assistance Program.
And what does that consist of? What are their resources in pursuant to the complaint that you filed, or claim that you filed, right?
Can you rephrase?
What would be their assistance and to help you with your claim that you were filing?
It was to help with any medical bills that arose out of this situation.
So it would be fair to say that you had a financial interest in this incident?
This characterizes the testimony.
Grounds. I believe it's relevant to the fact that bills were needed to be paid. It's relevant.
Overruled, he may answer.
I was looking to get the medical bills covered, yes.
So would that be fair to say that you had a financial interest?
I would say sitting here today, I didn't care if it got approved or not. I was trying to get assistance for the medical bills.
So if it hadn't gotten approved, would you have been able to do it yourself, or would you have seek to do it yourself?
Judge's relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained, the question is vague.
Would you have seeking? Would you have paid the medical bills yourself,
Yes,
regardless to price?
I generally pay my bills.
And specifically that matter, not the rest of your bills. Specifically that matter.
Objection's relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained. Move on, Mr. Brooks.
Would you consider yourself an injured party in this case?
No,
Were you aware that you might be called to testify in this case?
eventually, yes.
Did you seek to testify in this case?
No.
May I ask why you agreed to testify if you didn't seek to?
Objection's relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Do you recall who informed you via subpoena to testify?
I received a subpoena from the DA's office, yes.
You did?
Yes,
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
no problem.
Are you aware of the plaintiff in this case?
Objection relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Have you read a complaint pursuant to this case at any time?
Not that I remember, no.
Do you understand that for charges to be issued that it has to be a claim, therefore it has to be a plaintiff?
Objection.
Grounds.
Okay, so first of all, the
Grounds.
grounds are relevancy. It's not relevant. That would be the
You
grounds.
also have to state the grounds.
Hold on. Let her get her position out, Mr. Brooks.
And it mischaracterizes the former testimony.
It does
Sustained
not.
as to both grounds. Under 90611, move on, please.
So you're not sure if there is a plaintiff?
Objection,
Grounds.
relevance.
Sustained.
Have you ever had any interaction with the plaintiff?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Are you aware who brought charges in this matter?
Objection,
Grounds.
Sustained.
If you're not sure of a complaint, how can you be sure of the charges in this case?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained. Mr. Brooks, under 90611, please move on to a new topic, or your cross-examination will be shortened and cut off.
Your Honor, with all due respect, that's every question that I'm asking is relevant. It pertains to the plaintiff in this matter that seems to be nowhere
You're
found.
making a legal argument. We'll take that up outside the presence of the jury. Move on.
I believe the jury deserves to know who the plaintiff is in this matter. That's very relevant to the case. How can they rule on something when they don't
Mr.
even know
Brooks?
who the plaintiff is?
Please, move on. Next question, or I will turn it back over to the state for redirect.
Can you recall if you saw the driver of the vehicle?
I don't remember seeing the driver.
Were you able to catch a glimpse of the license plates?
No.
Do you recall if the vehicle had any tinted windows?
I don't remember.
About how far from the vehicle were you when it passed you?
From the red SUV?
About how far from the vehicle were you when it passed you?
Can you tell me which vehicle you're talking about?
How far from the vehicle were you when it passed you? The vehicle that went around your Blazers vehicle.
The red?
I guess I would ask the defendant to be more clear as to what vehicle and when it went around, like at the beginning of the parade, before it struck his kids.
I was just clear. I said the vehicle that went around his Blazers.
Sustained as to the form of the question. Please rephrase.
The vehicle that you observed, or rather I'll say the vehicle that you observed approaching. About how far from it were you when it passed you?
Objection, just to clarify, is he saying the red SUV that this witness has described as that red SUV was approaching him, or some other vehicle?
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Well, I thought he was clear when he said that there was only one
With your
vehicle.
question, Mr. Brooks.
Excuse me, Your Honor?
You have to be clear with your question. It's
Well,
vague.
he
As
said
to
it
the
was only
word
one.
vehicle, you need to be clear which vehicle you're questioning the witness
The
about.
vehicle that was approaching, that he said
At
was
what
approaching.
point in time, what color is the vehicle, something like that, sir.
The vehicle that you observed strike anyone. How close were you to that vehicle when it passed you?
The red SUV was about 10 feet probably from me.
And you didn't see the driver, correct?
Correct.
Did you see anyone else in the vehicle?
I did not look in the vehicle.
Would that be a no?
That's a no.
Thank you.
Would it be fair to say that 10 feet from a vehicle is pretty close?
Subjective.
What would you say? Would you say that's pretty close?
It depends what you're talking about.
Would you say that 10 feet is pretty close to a vehicle?
Depends. If they're driving, yes.
Would it be fair to say that that's close enough to be able to see who is driving?
It depends on many other factors.
What would those factors be?
Eyesight, windows up, down. If they're looking at the vehicle.
I'm assuming it would be fair to say that you were definitely looking at the vehicle, correct? Would that be fair to say?
When?
When it was approaching and when it passed?
Yes.
Any reason why you would not try to identify the driver?
Because my children were about to be struck.
Any reason why you would not try to see if you can catch a license plate number?
Because people had just been hit.
So it'd be fair to say because of what you was observing, that would be the reason why you didn't try to get a description of the driver or the license plate.
My priority at the time was not identifying the driver.
No further questions.
Thank you. Any redirect?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Sir, you had indicated that you submitted a claim to the Victim Witness Program for medical bills. Is that correct?
Correct.
Were those the medical bills for Caden and Riley that were incurred as a result of the red SUV hitting both of those children?
Yes.
Objection. Relevant.
Overruled. His answer may stand.
And it was yes?
Yes.
To wait till I.
Sure.
No
Thank you.
problem.
No further questions, thank you.
All right. Thank you. You may step down.